Oh, I'm visiting this country on my own? Woo! Now we're recording.
Insane. 3 years ago, almost to the day, I took a 2-week road trip across Europe with someone I'd been seeing for under 1 month.
Where are we going today?
She planned all of it, every day in her notes app. I brought a camera because I wanted to film the whole trip.
I was in front of the camera going.
But she didn't sign up for that, so I had to settle for photos and then put the camera back in the bag. Turns out, it went pretty well.
Let's go.
Doing it again. So 3 years later, we're not strangers anymore.
Thank you and enjoy your flight.
Same 2 weeks in June, same notes app, but this time, the camera comes out of the bag. Or should I say cameras? And one of them doesn't make it to the end of the trip. And at this point, she knows I want to capture everything.
You're taking pictures of the same thing 500 times.
This is a road trip movie. So let's see if we can plan our way into the best trip of our life twice. This time, I'm filming everything that happens between the photos. She thinks that's how you miss a trip. I think it's how you keep one. So 3 new countries this time. We're driving through Croatia, Bosnia, and Montenegro, with 11 stops along the way. And we'll check them all off the list as we go. First up, Dubrovnik, Croatia. 10 years ago, you were doing deep research on this place. Now it's on every top 10 travel list. So it seemed like the obvious place to start.
Really good question that I have is why every room?
You have arrived.
We're staying at Hotel Excelsior.
I love this shot.
And there's no better way to start a trip than just jumping right in. You living the dream down there? Croatia, baby. I feel like everyone tells you to do the same thing when you get to Dubrovnik. Walk the walls. So that's exactly what we did, and they were right. The views are ridiculous. The only downside? Apparently, everyone else got the same recommendation. Busy. We're about to enter the land of the tourists. I told ya, tourist HQ right there.
Meanwhile, you're the one with the freaking 10 cameras on and a backpack. Tourist HQ. Drink water.
So the question I need an answer to, why is every rooftop orange?
It's Mediterranean.
I think there's more to it.
No, it's not really the Mediterranean. It's the Adriatic, but...
Yeah, right. I love a good fact check.
Fact check.
You think of Dubrovnik and you see orange, but some of these rooftops are newer than they look. During the Yugoslav wars in 1991, shelling damaged parts of the old town, including hundreds of roofs, but the city fought to rebuild it exactly as it was. So look closely, the brightest tiles are the new ones. The faded ones survive. And that would be my history lesson.
What?
Talking to the camera.
Stop talking to the goddamn camera and talk to me.
This isn't really a new argument, we just happen to be having it in Croatia. But more on that later. You can't make a video about Dubrovnik without mentioning Game of Thrones. Well, take it off.
Take it off.
All the way up. This is the location for the Walk of Shame scene. I really was ready to take it off. This European heat, man. Booze bar. But lucky for me, there was a solution waiting for us on the other side of the wall. This might be my dream bar. That's a lot of seconds. I love how it's such like a chill little spot. You know I'm gonna do it.
Woo! Woo!
Absolutely horrendous form.
It's something you have to do.
Now back to the question we started the video with.
European road trip. Can we meet what it was last time or exceed?
For a challenge I haven't been able to take on.
I like that.
USA. I want to put you in that basket. It's one of the best looking desserts I've ever seen. Dubrovnik lived up to the hype. I could walk you through every turn and alleyway. But I want you to see this city for yourself. But this trip was never supposed to be about one place. For a road trip, we haven't done much driving yet. That's about to change. The plan was to head north into Bosnia, but before we crossed the border, we decided to make one last detour. But on the way, we finally had the argument this movie is really about.
Lauren often tells me to put the camera away.
Yeah.
She thinks sometimes it interrupts the experience. I think it enhances it because we get to look back.
Sometimes. All right, listen.
Okay.
It's nice to go back and look on these things that I forgot, or like you see a picture and you get to relive it. But sometimes it's annoying. Like when we're in the old city and we're walking and you're like 500 steps behind me. Oh, I'm visiting this country on my own. You're taking pictures of the same thing 500 times. Like, can we click and move on?
You get the shot. Look at that rock.
Go fast.
Jesus, for like go-karting.
In 500 meters, you will arrive at your destination.
What a little like European adventure. Pasjaca Beach. You hike down this path along the cliff, and eventually you walk out to this man-made beach. Absolutely beautiful. Which became our favorite stop of the trip. And unfortunately, the best footage of this beach was on the camera I'd lose a few days later. But the good news, we did snap a few photos. Goodbye to my favorite beach. She has amazing glute strength, so she can make it up a mountain pretty quick. And just like that, I'm 500 steps behind Lauren yet again. Worth the hike. So one thing I'm trying to get better at for the rest of the trip, I'm gonna try to let one shot be the one that counts. How'd she beat me? Border crossing. The thing about driving through 3 countries is that every border is a gamble. But the internet gave a fair warning about wait times. This time, we got lucky. But luck eventually runs out. Maybe 20 minutes after crossing the border, we pull up on Kravica Waterfalls. You pretty much park, walk a few minutes, and you're here. I was thinking there's no way this is natural. Walt Disney attraction. Turns out, it's completely natural. What do you think?
Beautiful.
Incredible.
Very picturesque.
Absolutely. So the camera came out. 60-degree water had me build up an appetite. So of course, I had to try some Bosnian food. I finally learned how to pronounce
Cebapi.
Cebapi. Cebapi, baby.
The bikers from the gate gave me a thumbs up for approval. This is a road trip movie, so we stop at the roadside fruit stand. It's not even that good.
Why are you still drinking it then?
Next up, Mostar, Bosnia.
Star, we're here where we have a 16th century Ottoman bridge. That's you.
She's better at this than me. That's my living room. The next 2 nights. This Airbnb frames the entire reason most people come to Mostar. That's the old bridge called Stari Most. And what you're hearing is the call to prayer. So we have Muslims on one side, and then based on the crosses, Catholics on the other. Fact check. The river still roughly divides Mostar's Croat Catholic west side from its Bosniak Muslim east side. It stood for 400 years. It was destroyed in the Bosnian War in 1993, and when they rebuilt it, they used the same stone and same methods from back then. It's meant to symbolize unity, and it's an opportunity to high dive. I thought about it for one full second, but I think I need to work on my form. But if you're ready to commit, get the stamp of approval from the local dive club. So we bopped around the old town, snapped a few photos, And when I say snapped a few photos, I mean 8, 10, 15 identical frames of Stari Most. Before leaving Bosnia, we made one last stop.
Just for a photo. I'm committed. As always.
500-year-old dervish monastery built into a cliff at the source of a river. They don't love 5-inch inseam shorts here, so I toured a monastery in a dress. My honest opinion, it's a beautiful place, but this is the one I'd skip. One thing we learned pretty quickly on this trip, just because you can keep checking things off your itinerary, doesn't mean you should. I trusted a stranger with the camera on this one. We left with 2 unremarkable photos and no feed, but I guess we got the shot. Then hit the road. We're in the middle of nowhere, Bosnia. It's about to be a horror movie. Border crossing, never ending. Home base for the islands. And after Dubrovnik and Bosnia, we decided to save the old town for later. We checked into the Radisson Blu,
Stop number 3.
Split Croatia.
and immediately settled into summer vacation mode. Lauren booked us a day at Carpe Diem Beach Club,
Get that tattooed on my lower back.
which required a ferry to get there.
Follow the back.
But first, I gotta grab something.
I own a travel hat company, but I need to find a hat that matches this outfit. Market research. This
Well, these are,
LinkedIn.
yeah, no, not that
That one
one.
might be a true vacationer with this.
There you go.
Secured. The traveler has become the vacationer.
Get it with Diocletian's palace in the back.
Wait, what time does it leave? Now? What? Oh, fuck. We're not gonna make it.
And you're closing it and you're taking off the lines, and I was like,
I'll be honest, when she said beach club, I pictured this. This was the exact opposite. Champagne, charcuterie, crystal clear water, and absolutely nowhere else we needed to be. Somewhere around here, we stopped trying to recreate the first trip and started letting this one be its own thing. Because for the first time, there was nothing to compare it to. And after we snapped these photos, I found myself putting the camera away until we made it to the next stop.
So she's on a beach, but this one's actually pretty special because it comes to a point. Look at that thing. There's a beach here and a beach there. They come together right there. Cue the drone footage.
To Zlatni Rat Beach. It's also known as the Golden Horn or Golden Cape. That sounds a bit more approachable. It's a famous pebble beach located on Brač Island.
Have we ever gone on a trip that we didn't do a water park?
no.
We spent the next 30 minutes ripping across the obstacle course. It was a standout moment from the trip. Until it wasn't.
Well, bad news for documentation purposes. I lost my Insta360 at the bottom of this ocean.
You will see how good I could be on that Ninja Warrior thing. Because you got the most amazing clips of me just doing everything the first try.
This probably should have proved Lauren right. But all I could think about was the footage I'd never get back.
This is all I have left to remember it by.
Yeah, I'm depressed too, because you lost all the ninja footage of me.
For someone who kept telling me to put the camera away, she really wanted those clips back.
Today was a good day.
Great day.
The camera debacle. Fucking Rat Beach. Just kidding, I loved it there.
So the trip had to keep moving. back to the old town, Diocletian's palace. And losing one camera didn't make me want to put the others away. It made me want to make sure I didn't miss anything else. Little photo shoot. The amazing thing about this place is that you take any turn, come around any corner, there's something interesting waiting for you on the other side.
Yeah, all of this is AD.
The first ashtray. Speaking of old things, why is there an Egyptian Sphinx in Split?
We might have to do a fact check.
It's got to be a replica, right? Wrong. The guy who built this place was a Roman emperor named Diocletian. He quit the job, retired here, and decorated with Egyptian antiques he had shipped in. This one was already 2,000 years old when he put it up. Okay, back to it. The next few days became a blur of ferries, beaches, and tiny islands.
I think mango sounds good right there. And the shots. The Greyhound bus of boat tours. Right there.
And we capped it off with one last stroll through the old town. I made a wish for 1 million YouTube subscribers. And this time, I did the driving.
Oh, there it is. Okay, now we're recording. We just left Split. We're heading to Montenegro.
It's been a lot of days. This has been a long vacation.
5 hours left. We've driven 40 minutes already.
And just like that, Lauren was now the one holding the camera. We took the route along the coast, and I saw about 12 beaches I wanted to stop at. But that last border crossing had us traumatized. So, we didn't stop, not even once.
Another one.
We're in a new country. Montenegro, also known as Black Mountain. And somewhere at the top of one was a photo I came here to get. But first, Kotor Bay. Our first sunset in Montenegro. These roads are a little crazy though. Sidewalks. Much needed. Okay, after that long drive, let's just take a moment and appreciate the view. Kotor's medieval old town. More stone walls, narrow alleys, and all the old things. By week 2, we walked a lot of old towns. I was ready for something different, so I couldn't help but look up at that mountain. But one more thing. I ate branzino roughly every day of this trip. No complaints.
My favorite.
Tanja is a barbecue joint by the market, and we ordered like we just gotten off that cruise ship.
Eat a bite. Come on. Put a piece in your mouth.
That was like, what, 40 minutes later?
It's all part of the travel thing.
I guess I did sign up for this.
I'm gonna put authentic things on your YouTube videos. Oh, this is authentic, huh? For 90-degree heat up a mountain where there's one road for the cars.
How do we get up there?
What?
How do we get up there? Stop! The Serpentine road up to Lovcen. 25 hairpin turns. 1 lane, 2-way traffic. And Lauren drove.
22.
Sure is a great opportunity for the Insta 360. Masterpiece. And me said Balkan DNA. So that's how we came here. We wanted to connect with my roots.
You're not connected because you know what? Your roots are these small roads, and you're thinking everything's like gotta be 5-star. You're like, they don't have sidewalks. They're too narrow. Things and places are from before Christ. But where's the elevator? It's my fault. I ruined you. It's my fault.
She turned me into a luxury travel guy.
Absolutely, you're worse than me. Really straight down.
Yeah, don't look.
I'm depressed that it's already done.
That was the Alpine coaster, which after that drive up was a relaxing part of the day.
I just wanted to say, if we were doing this again, we would have taken the cable car.
Which is not far off from an elevator. 1,350 meters high. Pit stop at Monte 1350.
Going up. Going up.
This was the reason I wanted to come to Montenegro. I needed to get a photo at the top of the mountain. But what exactly is up here? Let's fact check as we climb. Remember Black Mountain? This is the mountain. And at the top, they buried a guy named Peter, prince, bishop, and the national poet. He picked this spot himself. They say it's the highest mausoleum in the world.
What?
Did you look up how high?
461 steps later, and 5,436 feet above sea level.
Yeah, maybe I think that is it.
Clear day, you can even see Italy. We could not confirm.
There it is.
And somewhere between the drive, the stairs, and actually being up there, I forgot the one thing I came to do.
What?
I didn't take the photo.
But the moment wasn't completely lost because I had this video. So I took a screenshot, gave it a quick edit, and this is the photo I came home with. And it's not perfect, but for once, that was good enough. I drove us back down. This time, nobody counted.
When you're terrified by the streets of Montenegro, for example, you go to the closest restaurant possible. But I'm not gonna lie, I might be craving the beach life.
At this point, we knew what we were doing. For the morning drive back across the border.
We got lucky. The wait isn't too long today.
Well, this hasn't moved.
Good morning. Another beautiful day.
Back in Dubrovnik. Different hotel, different side of the city. A completely different pace. For the first time all trip, we left the itinerary open.
Yeah. Key to happiness.
Great form.
Perfect.
We spent about a week asking if we could plan our way into the best trip of our life twice.
Your favorite thing about the first trip? Meat, time, or exceed?
I don't really think that was ever the right question. The first trip was good because everything was new. And this one was good because it wasn't. And you can't put that in a notes app. And as for the ongoing camera argument, I don't think either of us was completely right.
Wow, we're at King's Landing. This is Croatia. Approve of this camera.
Cheers.
Got a clink.
That's what we were looking for.
She planned the trip. I finally got the shot.
The good news, I finally took the camera out of the bag. The bad news, I have 14 days of footage to sort through. This will be a fun edit.
Now you're gonna wish you listened to me about how much shit you take, huh? Quality over quantity. Like and subscribe.